in my PJs. I think I'm the only woman that does lives in PJs without going, to the shower and do all that nonsense. The only granny on Facebook talking or on this live. It's something that's very close to my heart and something, I've experienced with, and I've really looked for answers and sought, and I've had, lots of experience with it. So it's a lot of subjects. I'm not sure if I can fit it into one live. And when I'm finished the live, I'll post the live onto YouTube so people that missed it can watch it. But we've got a lot of things wrong because we were plunged into darkness and a low level of consciousness. We've forgotten how ancients and how we used to deal with death. And some tribes haven't, actually. When I lived in Zanzibar, I found that people there celebrated it. You died, it was never a sad thing. Everyone was invited. We would think it's rude if we went to a stranger's funeral. Everybody in the village and tourists, anyone was invited to go to the funeral. You all ate and it was celebrated and it was done. Put them down and they carried on the next day as if nothing had happened. I was like, wow. You'd think you'd be sad and mourning it and all this sort of thing. Now we carry on. We're frightened of it. We don't want to see the dead body. We're frightened of death. And it's been purposely done to make us fear. And this has caused a lot of problems with souls being stuck on earth, and ghosts, as you call them, trapped souls and ghosts. It's caused a lot of that because people were frightened. They left here with unfinished business, fear, trauma. So the soul couldn't leave in peace. They hung around. So I've had experience with them as well, to sending people back that were stuck here, souls and attachments, or you want to call ghosts, as well. And never mind losing people myself and knowing and watching people and how they, they're frightened when it comes time, when there's the whole process. It's quite a process because we've got it all backwards, we've forgotten. And now we're waking up and we're able to see again. It's the whole idea. The planet is rising again in consciousness and light, as I should say. The awakening, or the veil's dropping. Thank goodness. But there's a lot to cover on this subject. And also people, if you go and research like I did, I was fascinated. Near-death experiences, you will find something very interesting. They're not the same. People do not have, or some channels only play the same thing. So there's sort of certain channels and people are selecting a certain narrative. But if you really look, there's a lot, everyone has different experiences. They don't all go to the same place. They don't all have the same experiences when they die. So that makes you question. We don't all go to the same place and see the same things and have the same experiences. Then I also found online, which is unusual to get your hands on, it's called the Book of Death. It's the Tibetan Book of Death. And as the Buddhas, they train. You go through this whole process and they learn and they're told what you're going to see when you die and how to work your way. Even the Egyptians did. Look on their tombs and the Egyptians. The carvings were guiding you through the afterlife. So this was knowledge we lost. So the Tibetans do that. And I listened to the Tibetan Book of Death. I found it somehow online. Someone made an audio book of it. It was fascinating. I listened to this. And they're actually told. So you're told, okay, the first day when you die, this is what you're going to see. Don't be frightened. That's your ego, and don't go towards the light, go to the lighter light. And then the next day you're going to be tested, you'll see this. And I was thinking, wow, that's amazing. So you're really pre-programming someone's brain, because then that's what they'll manifest. They will expect to see those things when they die. So they're all going to experience the same things. And only because I listened to many near deaths and past life regressions and and other people's near death experiences, and that went here, I went to heaven, I got this. And they're completely different. And some people went to source, all that is. And there was just constant, there was this peace, all-knowing, and they had none of this. And people have done thousands of research. A gentleman who lost his mother went and researched because he wanted to know what happens and where do you go, if his mom was right, where it should be. He interviewed thousands of people that had died. Suicide, drowning, heart attacks, religious, not religious. And they all had very similar experiences. And a lot of them also had this, absolute peace and all-knowing. And as I said, because of my focus and interest on this and hearing about all the nonsense and soul trap, I did a lot of looking into this and seeking. And that's maybe why I ended up remote viewing or astral traveling, not intentionally, but I went there. It was really interesting. And then I was shown this whole thing. I was shown my death, everything. Saw them taking my body away, watched them it was really weird. Watched them, my kids put my ashes under where I asked them, so I knew they did. And I was watching them, they didn't have a clue, it was funny. And I shared those, I told you can go watch those videos, which I've shared publicly. You can follow my Facebook page and you'll see my videos of all of that. Because I questioned and I was shown all of that. Went up the tunnel of light. I went to source. I saw myself being a spirit, they showed me being a spirit. What happens, even actually what happens when you die. what you experience and what you see as you're dying. It was really a little bit frightening in the beginning, and I made a video about that, explaining to people so they won't be frightened when you start dying, what happens. It's not, I've explained it. I don't want to go through it again. So this is something that really is on my mind, and this is why I found a lot of souls are stuck here. They get stuck. This is what a lot of people are, you call attachments or possessions or whatever else. Because they died, either some of them died in the state of consciousness, fear, anger, trauma, sudden death, couldn't, either murdered, whatever, couldn't forgive the person, were shocked, because they don't know, because they weren't awake. They didn't reach that level of consciousness, and they weren't, spiritually awake yet and tapped in. So it was like, oh my gosh, I'm dead. And they were angry. They couldn't let go. They couldn't forgive. And then they didn't go to the light. They didn't know where. They left it too long. They hung around because they were following someone they didn't want to let go of. Couldn't let go of a loved one or a lost, whatever it was. And this is why they stick around. And then they get stuck here so long they can't find their way back. And I've helped many souls back to the light, actually. They decided to attach. And I know I can see them immediately when they're trying to stick. I say, no, sorry, this is my body. You're not, and then you help them back. And if you watch past life, if you go for past life regression, you'll see and listen, you watch enough of them. There's a few channels on YouTube. Some are very good. And you go through your own regression, you see how they do it. So you learn. And they come to you, souls that are stuck, because they'll see your light. Remember, as a spirit, you see energy and light. So they will then decide, oh, I want to jump on that body, which they've done to me. They do used to. And then I'd say, no. And then I would find out who they were. One was a young girl, one was a man. And then I'd help them find their way back, because they didn't realize they were light. And they could go back. You're not judged. There's no judgment. You're not punished or anything like that. But what keeps souls trapped is what I want to fix here. This is our problem on this planet at the moment, is why we have this issue where people don't know where to go, get lost, frightened because they're going to be judged, they're going to go to hell. This nonsense that is being pushed on us, purposely to control and keep us in a state of fear. This is how they say we fell into darkness. It was manipulation by the churches as well. So they pushed it out there, so you were fear, and you actually manifested those things. And you're going to go to hell, and you're all evil. People are not, you were never born. None of us are, actually. You're not born like that. So this is why we were frightened of them, we manifested them, we feared them, we gave them power, actually. We actually strengthened that, and what you want to call the demonic realm and everything, and manifested them and feared them, because what you fear is what you give power to. So we created a lot of this purposely, not knowing we were manipulated, because we weren't conscious, because we fell in that level of consciousness, or earth, they say, fell into darkness, or whatever you want to say, biblical terms. This is what happened, and we've been manipulated and controlled and kept in fear, low vibrations, energies and frequencies. And if you are like that, your auric field is fractured and it's got holes. This is how they get in. If your energy, life force energy or light is weak by fear, trauma, all these things, this is how they get in. This is how people get attacked and things like that. And this is how they can attach to you. And it's purposely done. So anyway, it's all coming to an end now. But where the problem comes in is our perception of death and how people die and how we handle our family or loved ones dying. This is where the problem lies. A soul must be able to leave this planet in peace. And even if you can't make it to someone's, what people don't realize is when someone dies, they don't immediately leave, actually. Believe me or not, you hang around for a while. A lot of, especially ones that aren't awake, you hang around and you're surprised, first of all, that you did. And you watch what's going on and you watch them take your body away, because I've seen it, you do. I did. I saw them come in, put my body on the trolley, everything. And you could ask them. So some of them watch, even if you listen to near-death experiences, they tell you, they float up, they watch the doctors try to resuscitate them, Nobody wants to come back as well, because it's so bloody awesome being a spirit and you're free. So you do not want to come back. It's like, oh my Lord, this is fantastic. So, most of them say they don't want to come back, can't I stay? If you ask people, they'll say they didn't want to come back to Earth. But it wasn't their time, so they came back. They agreed to come back. So, our issue is here, we need to be able to die in peace. So our soul, there's nothing holding us here. Unfinished business, right? So if you've got unfinished business with a loved one, and even if you didn't manage to be there when they died and say, look, I'm sorry, whatever family, if you had tiffs in your family and fighting and siblings, that it doesn't matter, you forgive them. Whatever they did, it doesn't matter. You love them and it's fine, right? You need to be able to do that. So if you're not able to do that, before someone dies, they want to have that off their chest. They want to make sure they can go in peace, that there's forgiveness, they've forgiven you, and everything I did wrong, you forgive me. They think the Creator, everyone, they've got to ask for forgiveness. The most they forget is to forgive themselves, actually, because you don't know. You forgive yourselves. Never hold judgment on yourself either. And you're not judged either, believe me. They feel very sympathy. There's a lot of sympathy for you up there. So they know, because it's your level of consciousness. So, forgiveness. Now, if you have someone died, or even if they did, you're able to still now set them free. Break soul contracts and bonds and say, look, I'm sorry for whatever I did to you. I free you of all soul contracts, bonds and ties, and I set you free with love. Right? You set them free. You can, so try. This is the thing with us. We need to let our loved ones go. We need to tell them it's all right to go. A lot of the problems as souls stay here is because of us. Because we don't want to miss them. Because you're in a 3D thing, the person's not going to be around anymore. Because you physically can't see them, right? If you're not awake and you're not able to communicate with them, you miss their company. You're going to be lonely. You don't want to lose, someone you care about. That's just the way we are. So we grieve. And a lot of our families, a lot of our loved ones that are dying, and if you've been through enough people that are dying and have gone through this, and you've sat with people or close ones that you've had that have died, you'll know. They worried about us. I've had friends, I've lost friends, they won't tell their wives and loved ones because they wanted to go, they were tired, they wanted to go, but they know their family are trying everything to keep them alive, and every medicine and pill, and because they don't want to lose you. But at the end, they're just tired, they want to go, and they don't know how to tell the people. Look, I'm actually just tired. I don't want to, I want to go now. And it's time to go. So a lot of it is us. We put that guilt on them. And then they worry about us because we won't be okay when they leave. And we're going to be mourning them and we're going to be sad. Your loved ones know. If you're alone, you haven't got a partner that's going to be supportive when they die, they worry about us. How are my children going to be when I die? Are they going to be okay? So a lot of the times we keep the souls here. They're not able to go freely because they'll stick around and they'll watch us. You don't see them, believe me, they're here. They stick around and they watch us because they feel sorry for us. We need to let them go. It's okay to go. We've got to tell them it's all right to leave. I'm going to be fine. Believe me, you can talk to them. You know when they haven't left. I know. I've been through it already. You can tell them it's okay. It's good to go now. Go. I'll be fine. And you will be fine because trust me, you've got divine guidance. If you tap into your higher self, which they call your higher consciousness, which is your, whatever you want to call it, your soul, your eternal self, your higher self, whatever you want to name it, it guides you just like everybody's got it. It guides you and your guides, whether they're angels, whether they're other beings, whether they're whatever they are, from past lives. Maybe it's some of these guides actually are ourselves, parallel lives. There's no such thing as time. This is proven now in the string or quantum theory, string theory. There's no such thing as time. On this planet, we believe in it. We made time. So basically, all those lives are existing right now. That's why you can tap into them, past, present, future. So some of the people that visit you to come and guide you are actually your future selves are coming back, actually. But yeah, we need to do that. So we need to stop seeing death, and we need to be able to let your loved ones go in peace. Don't hang on to them. Make them feel guilty. Make them feel bad because I'm going to be upset. Because we cry and we all freak out when they're dying, and we don't want to lose you. So it makes it very hard for someone to leave. Towards the end, we've got to think of them. We've got to be very conscious when someone's dying, and not because we think about us, our emotions, our feelings. We project that on the person. So they're dying, and they're gonna. I've been through it. My mother, my best friend, whatever. I've done that. They couldn't talk. They wouldn't talk to their loved ones or my brother and sister because they wouldn't understand. They couldn't tell them, listen, I just don't want to take any more of these pills. Please leave me, or whatever else. Or, because they couldn't accept the fact that they're dying. This is what causes a problem. So a lot of souls were stuck because a lot of them are frightened. They look out, oh my gosh, my body's blown in bits. They died, violently. They see their body there. They got that attachment to their body. What I've discovered, if you go through this, and if you listen to enough past life regressions, if you listen to all these near-death experiences of all these people and the Tibetan book of Afterlife, you realize, and when I was there as well, what you think of, it's how we can travel. How do you think you can remote view and astral travel? You go there like that, instantly. Because you travel with the speed of your thought. Same with our alien friends, that's how these ships work as well, with consciousness. You travel with the speed of thought, right? So this is very interesting. So what you think of is where immediately up. So even if you're dead, right, and I'm focusing, and you talking or you crying, about, and I focus and I hear you, I'll be there immediately, and I'm hovering above you. You didn't. I found that out. So a lot of people, when they die as well, that don't know what to do, they soon find out when they manifest and they're terrified because they think now they've done wrong and they didn't sort nonsense out and they die. And oh my gosh, I'm going to hell. Believe me, they'll end up in what they think is hell, and they will see these things. As soon as they realize, they'll be terrified and realize, no, and they'll start thinking of somewhere nice. Oops, all of a sudden I'm not there anymore, I'm somewhere nice now. Because you can travel wherever your thoughts, your mind. It's like me, if I want to go down remote view or astral travel to Costa Rica or go and see where my daughter is or whatever, boom, I'm there right now. That's the same thing as when you're dead, because your soul, that's the same thing in charge. Your consciousness moves in that thing. So what you think of is really what you manifest. And they're not, you on your own evolution path, they are not there to lead your life, your soul or whatever is not going to tell you. They're not going to say, oh, you're being silly, you're manifesting this, you want to change, you must. They're waiting for you to do it. So you have got to come to that realization, oh my gosh, I'm creating this, I'm seeing this, I'm drawing it. This is really what it's about. So they're not going to come and tell you, if you go up there, you will end up there and they'll just play along with you. Okay, because it's your evolution, not theirs. They're not there to teach you, to tell you. You have to ask. If you seek it and say, oh, okay, is this true? Or is that what's happening to me? Or why is this? Or what's affecting me? You'll be shown it in your meditations. If you pick up any negative interference, something, and you tell your soul to scan your higher self, to scan you, what's there? Dense negative. What's that pain? What's that feeling? What's stuck there? What's that energy? Is it mine? Is it something else? Is it an attachment? Is it negative interference? Whatever, anything. Absolutely anything. So this is something it's very sad. We've trapped a lot of souls here because they die and they're not awake and they fear death and they don't know, but they don't believe in any afterlife, which I find, because I'll be quite surprised when they do die. And that's the problem. They don't know then. So, of course, what do you see? A bright light. They go to the tunnel of light, which is reincarnation, because your soul, you've got to learn. And some that think they're going to be judged, and believe me, they go through that. They'll go there and they'll sit there and they'll have their own trial, because that's what you want and you manifest, and that's exactly what happens. And this is where I discovered it's us. No near death, if you listen to so many of them and people, is the same. Because it's what you want to experience is what you will get. Fascinating. So you've got to be very, we need to definitely handle death and people that are dying and our loved ones better, and be thoughtful, and understand. Let them go in peace. Tell them it's okay to go. I'm going to be fine. They're there. And they can talk to you. And don't, bug them all the time and call them all the time when they're dead too, because they do reincarnate and have other lives and they've got to carry on, with their path, just as you are on your own soul journey. And you'll discover a lot of people, if you go for your regressions, that are now in your family, a mother, a husband, a child. You've had many past lives with them. So often we reincarnate with the same people, actually. But in that life, that was your mother, or I was the daughter, or she was my grandmother. That's interesting, actually. So when you go for a past life regression, you can ask them, is my daughter, and then you'll see, where you know her from. Have you incarnated with them before in other lives? But we do this. It's very sad. It's very sad. And there's nothing to fear, as I say, of any people fear ghosts and any of these things. No, you've got nothing to fear. And this is what's given them power. And this is why we've got such darkness, because they told us and they pushed this fear. And if you don't, you're going to go to hell and this and that. And this is why they did it purposely. And worshipping things. We created those things by making them powerful, by giving them power and energy, focusing on them, fearing them. There's nothing to fear. It doesn't matter, even if they're angry. It depends how you handle it. And a lot of you talk to healers and people that do these so-called removement of angry souls, or whatever you want to call ghosts. If you treat all beings, doesn't matter what soul it is, alien or not, with respect and honor, and have no anger, no fear, no this and that, you have no problem. Nothing. Absolutely no problem. They just are angry, lost, think they can't, think now because they died at that era when it was fear, dark, hell, this and that, and you evil, and they maybe played the dark. So they actually think now, well, oh no, I'm stuck here, I'm in the dark. No, not at all. You're still light. So you can tell them how to activate that light again and how to go up. And you can call in angels and beings to help them. And you can, then you see them go off and you tell, it's amazing. It really is nice when you can help people because they just don't know. They don't know. So even if you lose someone and they're not here, you can talk to them and tell them, okay? You can explain this to them and you can tell them afterwards. And even now, for your own selves, for shadow work and healing, and you want to break whatever agreements you made before you came into this life, right? With people, soul contracts and agreements. We all have, one thing you must remember, we all have free will. You had free will then and you have free will now. We are able, as a free will being, to change our mind. So you are able to free yourself of all soul ties, contracts, and agreements you made before you carnated, or whatever you made with someone now that's not working out. Say, look, I'm freeing myself. I'm freeing you of this, maybe it's ex-husband, or whatever it is, relationship, child. I'm freeing them. You've set them free as a soul. Once they're adults, you can set them free of any agreements, soul contracts, promises, whatever you made to each other. Say, it didn't work out. I am sorry I hurt you. If I did, please forgive me. I forgive you for whatever you've done to me. And you visualize, you can see them floating off, and you send them off with love and peace. That's it. You clear yourself, because your soul is where you're on an evolution path, whether you realize it or not. Here, you're going through this, you go through till you learn, till you reach that. And then you evolve into a higher, then you're able to go dimensions, existences, whatever. Once you've evolved, obviously, your level of consciousness vibrations high enough, you're able to not only to stay on this planet, and also come back in a more evolved, enlightened in consciousness, really, which is where we're all going, the planet's going, if we like it or not. Thing I wanted to cover. And if you look into it, it's amazing. I know there's universities, I don't know which one it was, a British university that's covered thousands and thousands of cases of reincarnation, and they're absolutely certified, and 10,000, they 100% say there's no ways it could be not true and faked. So we know that. And I've listened to so many regressions, so many things of near-death experiences, and you realize that it actually is. So there's no ways they could all experience something different if there was one reality, because there isn't. Some people actually died, didn't even go anywhere. They went straight to a spaceship because they came here from other beings, from other planets, to agree, whatever, to help here. So as soon as they died, they went straight back to the spaceship. They didn't go, whatever. It's different. That's what I say. Fascinating. And you'll meet one shortly. I'll bring that person on here to talk to you. Interesting starseed. She came to help the planet, and she's doing an immense job. She's getting a lot. But when she had a near-death experience as a child, she wouldn't know. She didn't know anything about heaven, anything. This child, she was a child. Literally, she went straight to a spaceship. So there's no way people can say you can make it up, you manifested it, you imagined it, because a child doesn't know any better. So interesting. But that's what I say. That was her, she came here to help. A lot of people are. You might even be. You don't even realize. You don't realize where you came here for, what agreement, why you came to Earth right now. Especially right now. Because we're raising the planet. We're raising the consciousness, the frequency. This is a divine thing. It's an agreement, a divine plan. It's time now. It has reached a certain frequency to evolve. As a planet, as a whole species, we're going up. Out of this darkness and nonsense. This planet's all been, for a long time, we played its control. Especially now, they're trying to hold on desperately. Everything is about control. Control what you think, control what you say, what you're allowed to do. They're clamping down massively. It's trying to keep that control over, the population. It's a few. It's, yes, the dark just don't want to hand over the keys. It's their time to go now. But it is interesting, and they do exist, yes, but we created them. A lot of them have been removed now. It's because we worship. Don't worship any person. Don't idolize or worship other people. Oh my gosh, they're so fantastic. I want to be, or he's wonderful, or he's a savior, or he's my, whatever. No one is more powerful than you. They're all equal as souls. Don't worship other people. Don't look up to them. Don't fear them. Because what you focus on and put your life force energy is what you give power to. So this is why people say, oh my gosh, how do I get rid of them? It's only because you fear them and believe they have power over you. The minute you don't, they're gone. They don't have power over you. You will learn that. I got rid of a really nasty one because I was naive and didn't know anything about this, and I got attacked. and I got a nasty attachment. I looked in the mirror, I almost shat myself because I realized what was looking back at me wasn't me. I was an absolute terror. Because I was told, oh my gosh, you're going to see someone and do this for 2 weeks and then I'll remove it for you and all this nonsense. Till I realized that luckily I came across, I'll do a video on that. And then, bye-bye, raise your frequency. As well, the more healing you do on yourself and let yourself free of all contracts and things and stop judging your stuff, stop being hard on yourself, forgive yourself because you weren't awake, you're learning. We all make wrong mistakes, even if you did wrong, so what? You could have agreed to have gone through that actually, to learn empathy, to learn compassion, to play the dark. We've all played dark and light. Trust me. Thousands of years of evolution. And Source it's an experience. There's no right or wrong for him. Okay. Anyway, lovely people, so there we are. Please think carefully now. Okay, it's nothing to fear because my gosh, being a spirit is bloody awesome. Shit. You'll be so damn happy you're out of here. You get up there for a while and you think, oh, well, now you want to get back into the action. Because you know you can't die. If, of course, I mean, you dropped in here, your memories, and you can't remember everything, so then you think life's terrible and we're stuck and whatever else because you forget. But you won't be forgetting. The new earth, as where we're going now, people are dropping in with much higher consciousness and with their connection. So you're not going to come in here forgetting everything. So you'll know exactly what life's about and you won't be frightened and you'll be connected all the time. So this is where we're going. A great new future and enlightenment. We're heading back to enlightenment, which is fantastic. And you all have these abilities. So people say, oh, I think I'm telepathic. Yes, you all are. You can all do it. You were created that way. We were all created the same, right? This is the purpose, divine creation. You, as a biological human in this body, those chakras, all these things were given to everybody. You all able, just we fell, which means we couldn't remember, into a dark, dense consciousness and low vibration and frequency. You all have telepathy. You all have the ability to remote viewed astral travel to your higher self, speak to them, unless you are, taking so many pharmaceuticals or inoculations and things that are putting things into your body, which are then damaging that. So it's to detox the body from the heavy metals, and if you've had lots of inoculations and things and tap water, and you're able to heal and change. Right. And that's, you work on it, you go to healers, you go to pastors, clean up your diet, and it's just practice, absolute practice. Right. Seek and you shall find. Knock and the door will be opened. And they even tell you that in the Bible. At least they were honest about things. But it was written in a time we wouldn't have understood this. A lot was hidden and a lot was kept out of the Bible, purposely actually. Plenty books were kept out of the Bible. It was manipulation and control. Anyway, people are waking up now, and that's what they say, the lifting of the veil. The truth is all being exposed. This is why people are having heart attack. That people will see the reality they've really been living in. It's not what they've been told. Even your history is not what you've been told. Nothing. So if you want to find out, don't ask other people. Always, if you want to question anything, you're not sure to trust or anything you should do, tap in. Once you're connected, do your higher consciousness meditation in that trance. Ask everything. Stop looking for the answers and whatever outside. Go within. That is where you'll get the real truth. And ask them only to show you the truth. Perception. So you ask your soul, your higher self, like you can do with your remote view, the intention. Is this person lying? Should I be doing this? Is this the best for me? Anything. The truth is there. And you will get the truth. We're not misled by anybody. Okay? Even what I'm saying. Going up the tunnel of light, go up the tunnel of light yourself and go and see. Go to source. Tell your higher self. Because believe me, you can see a past life. You're eternal, right? You exist between your past lives. When you don't have a physical body, you're able to do that too. Go to source. Say yourselves, go to source. I want to go to source. Don't doubt you can. Focus, I'm going to source. Take me to source now. Or wherever else. And you will see for yourself what it's like, So I want to view this before I reincarnated into this body. Do that. Go and view yourself just before you dropped into this physical existence and body. Bloody awesome being a spirit. Looks different. You'll see the light is even different. Because the vibration, everything's different. It's amazing being a spirit. I'm like now I'm not one bit worried about it. I'm like, oh, bloody hell, I'm going to enjoy this. Not coming back in a hurry. I know I've seen many past lives, or parallel lives actually, future lives as well. Many future lives, but it's also different timelines. So it depends on what you choose. So you can choose a better timeline. It also depends on your evolution and your frequency and vibration. So you want to make sure you get all those up, your consciousness, your vibration and frequency, so you are on the highest timeline. Because I want to have much more evolved life. I'm like, this planet is way too, wow. Yeah, that's so, even as a child, I couldn't understand the constant war and what these people just didn't seem to learn. One world war, the next world war, it's just, destruction, and it's very dense, dark. The planet is, and the whole planet is going through collective trauma right now, purging. You talk about shadow work, the entire planet's going through shadow work right now. It's very, very much. Because we've gone through centuries of trauma and wars and nonsense, purposely. Everything has been to hold the human in a dense dark. Everything fear, control. This is why they push out fear. Oh, you've got to frighten that. Oh, you must be frightened of terrorists. You've got to be frightened of everything, purposely. And keep you ignorant and keep you in fear. No, you can't. You have to ask me, or you're going to go to hell. This is purposely. So when you die, this is why people went there and got in this, and it's really true. So go and do yourselves a favor if you know nothing about this. Go and listen to the Tibetan Book of the Dead, the audio book. Go watch lots of past life regressions. Go watch lots of near-death experiences on different channels, and you will see, wow, okay, as I did. And then I went to look for myself. I sought the answers, although I didn't intentionally go there. I was thinking and looking and seeking, and in my mind, meditated, sat down, and next minute, boom, most of my meditations, I ended up there. So I was like, oh, wow. So yeah, seek and you shall find, people. But let's change things on this planet to stop more souls being stuck here. Right? Let's help people leave this planet and in peace and, not stuck and get trapped on Earth. All right, lovely people. You have a good day. Bye.